think we're up. I think we're ready to go. Does it say it on here? It does. I'm live. 0 views right now. I'm over on the Discord, so if you guys are on the Discord, feel free to have some conversation there, or just start chatting it up right here on YouTube. So if you haven't seen the video for today, the video focuses a lot on mental health. It starts with a trigger warning and is very clear about why trigger warnings exist, and then talks about how we deal with this whole process of I don't know, like a quarantine, self-isolation, this whole process of the anxiety and stuff that goes into it. Review a Nakey Jakey video, specifically the one on relationships. I should review videos on a video. So what I was going to do was just answer some of you guys' questions of how you can better cope with this whole process. So the process of staying home, the process of being lonely and all of that, how do we deal with this together? I know that there's lots of questions that have come up. If you have some specific school questions, I can answer some of those. For instance, I know that Palm Springs Unified has come up with how they're planning on addressing education in the next few weeks. There is talk about the whole school year being canceled, which is very frightening, especially for some of my seniors. And there is talk of Coachella Valley, I believe, has their stuff set up. So we're really just waiting on Desert Sands to release what their plan is for this whole process. In the meantime, I'm here to answer questions. So if you guys have questions for me, first question is likely, why is this called Mr. Jackson's Peanut Butter Hour? This is the peanut butter that I have, that I'm bringing to the table. This is my favorite. It's Peanut Butter and Company's Dark Chocolatey Dreams. I also like the white chocolate one. But the reason I'm doing a peanut butter hour is because during my don't know why I said third. During my 5th period, right after lunch, I have a table that all asked me for peanut butter. And I had this big tub of peanut butter, and I would always give them a little spoon or a little fork full of peanut butter whenever they were hungry. And it was just a time to show that, like, hey, I'm trying to connect, or I'm trying to like give you guys what you need. So at this point, this stream is mostly focused on you guys getting what you need, answering your questions, and helping you out as much as we possibly can. So if nobody shows up or asks any questions, I've got questions. If you are allergic to peanuts and you're sitting at home, then you can have pecan butter. You can have cashew butter. You can have sunflower seed butter. Doesn't matter. You can have actual butter. That's all fine by me. But I won't hold this too close to the camera. So if you've got a peanut allergy, no worries. I guess that's one of the perks of this whole situation, is that people with a peanut allergy are no longer at risk of peanut butter hour being a problem. So thanks for that, Christian. I'm going to do some ASMR. No. Mixing this peanut butter right next to the microphone for you. Tommy, you are not technically upperclassman yet. I will say that. I'm so sorry, Alora. At least I addressed your needs, right, Alora? And when it comes to peanut butter hour and you have a peanut allergy, that is too much peanut butter. I'm not sure if other nut butters... Now we're talking about nut butters. Great. Just can't have butter either. That stinks. I'm not sure what other nut butters you're allowed to have. What are other alternatives that would you prefer? Yay, Natalie. This is for you. I hope you're enjoying peanut butter at home. Natalie was one of those 5th period people. Oh, hey, Miss Ely. Here, I'll scoot over.
Is it?
It is dark chocolate.
I'm getting better peanut butter?
Hey, Aunt. Almond butter is just trash. Cashew butter. The trick is the fat content. That's what makes it good.
I like sunflower butter. Sunflower nut butter.
How can we stop ourselves from getting addicted to small dopamine kicks? Emma. I don't know why it was on your recommended. Probably because they know that you want to hang out with Miss Ely.
Hi.
Have you been searching Miss Ely, Emma? Is that the problem? Tommy asked a really good question.
What?
how do we avoid getting addicted to small dopamine kicks? So that, like, basically the way that your phone is set up is to give you just little bits of dopamine that make you happy. And then you get sucked into it, and that's what you do over and over and over again. You don't get less addicted to small dopamine kicks. Like, that is the basis for a lot of what we would call addictive behavior. So,
I miss you too. I'm sorry, that made me really sad. He's talking, and I don't.
No, it's okay.
I don't care.
What you have to do, it's kind of like creating a vacuum, right? When you take something out, it creates a vacuum where your body wants to fill it in with something else. So it's a matter of finding a good thing to fill that in with. You will get small dopamine kicks from good behaviors. It's just a matter of repeating those behaviors enough that it give you a dopamine kick. So right now, I love peanut butter. Right now, I get a dopamine kick from sugar, right? If I replace sugar with vegetables, I'll still get a dopamine kick. It just takes a while for my body to adjust to it. And so you will be like, oh, I'm not getting as much dopamine from something like broccoli. But over time, I still end up getting that. I should do some club quinguin. That's my peanut butter hour for you. Asking more questions. Hey, Blue, how you doing? Alora, I'm glad that you're not able to suffer the consequences of this peanut butter. Emma, I'm surprised because I'm thinking this might be the biggest break Emma's ever had, like, of not doing stuff.
Oh, well, and she was also, I think, the week before we got canceled, like, you weren't doing basketball. I think your coach canceled on you a couple times, and you weren't doing that, and you were feeling it, and I'm really sorry. I hope it's going better now.
Yeah.
Did you go running in the rain? It's raining again today. You could go running again in the rain.
Gosh. I'm loving this rain. I drove around with the windows down, and I got Popeye's chicken sandwiches, which is not exactly how one socially isolates. They were wearing gloves. I didn't touch any of the stuff. It's okay. Natalie, you have a very good question. I kind of addressed it before you hopped on, but the chances that California will close schools for the whole year are increasing. Yeah. To be completely honest, we don't know. We should be getting word today about how that whole thing would happen. One of those people in 5th period. Jocelyn, you are also one of those people in 5th period that gets peanut butter. There's a chance that schools will be closed. In the event that schools are closed, we're going to get word from the district about that today, about how we're going to handle the actual education part of this. You guys still have a right to an education. That is something that is good for you. Don't eat my peanut butter, Yoko. We don't know if you have a peanut butter allergy.
She's a cat. She's got a chocolate allergy.
Oops. There's peanut butter everywhere. That is a sloppy.
I'm really glad you're still meeting, even though you're not supposed to. It's probably really good for your mental state. I want to work out, but I'm not quite sure how to, right? Like, I'm a very social whatever. And so I haven't figured it out.
EOS keeps sending me these really desperate emails.
Yeah.
They're like, we're the cleanest gym in town. Here's how you work out at home. Join our gym. It's cheaper now than ever before. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to sign up for a gym right now. Like, if I wasn't already signed up for EOS.
I don't know if you guys are going to have to take Apex or Unit Recovery, I think.
No. I would be very surprised if you guys all had to take Apex.
Yay! Sorry.
I've promised to give Miss Ely. I'm here to see the cat. The cat is
literally right here,
right next to the microphone, being a butthead.
She's eating peanut butter and stuff.
She does not like it when I pick her
she's
up.
gonna hiss.
Okay.
I'm really happy you're doing art. I'm probably going to be doing demos or something later, stuff that you guys can do at home. She's going to jump at you.
She's trying to pounce my hands. I wore this jacket to cover those nipples. Play the Big Chungus song.
Okay. I feel like I missed a whole bunch of questions.
In case anybody's wondering, tomorrow during this time, we'll be doing Creative Writing Club. And Creative Writing Club was going over how to write music and how to understand breaking down music. So I will be certainly playing Big Chungus song. And I'll be playing Big Chungus song plugged into my fancy Tascam.
And now.
Now I gotta scroll up through the comments because Ethan's spamming us. I showed you the cat, Bella. I hope you're happy. You will not all be taking Apex, and I really hope that you guys will be doing art.
What,
Did you say that?
Well, no, it's something about, I want at least one more day. I did not get to say goodbye, and that is breaking my heart. Like, I'm okay with isolating, but some of you are seniors or some of you won't be there next year, and that is making me sad. I wanted to give you guys all big hugs, but maybe air hugs because, we're all contagious.
And my guess about AP and IB tests getting refunded, my thought about that is that they'll likely make it an online test, which is kind of the worst case scenario, right? You haven't had the last bit of the class where you're going to get some essential information. You won't feel as prepared for it. And the sense that you're not prepared for it will make you do worse. So you'll be like, I'm not even ready for this. I haven't had the class for so long. And that will result in you performing less well on the test.
Sure.
Ideally, they would just refund you guys and we would come up with another solution. This is a very exceptional situation. And so I don't think it's fair to make that on you. Also, where's Miss Ely's YouTube going to be? Blue?
I don't know.
I was thinking about just making it
A shared one?
a shared one and making it a thing. A thing,
Like a thing.
A playlist on my channel and then probably renaming the channel so you guys know that the content's here. Just because it's a little bit easier than her having to...
I don't want a YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know how. AP World History doesn't even have a class. You mean like an online class? They don't have an online one? I think you guys should start...
AP World didn't have a class.
Oh, you guys would self-study it?
Yeah, they were self-studying.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say you guys should start to self-study for these other classes or study in groups, right? You can help you. I mean, I can't help with history, but I can help with some other stuff, and maybe we can find teachers who are in those subject matters that will do more tutoring for you guys, right?
Yeah. I think that that's the biggest thing that people... We'll get to that question.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing that people need to realize is that there's already a lot of resources online to better yourself. If you want to do Khan Academy, that stuff exists. If you're waiting for a teacher to give you something better than what already exists, I wouldn't hold my breath.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be mean about teachers because I think that they're brilliant, but I think that the skills that they have are mostly in connecting with students and secondarily in dispensing that knowledge, especially when it comes to online. So online classes, what we have is what we have. It's not like a teacher who's at home sick right now, at home socially isolating.
Right.
It's not like they're going to suddenly crack the code on how online classes should work. We've been struggling with this. I know I've been struggling with it ever since the beginning of online classes. So I don't think it's going to all of a sudden get better. However, I would strongly suggest you go to those resources that already exist.
Yes.
Watch Crash Course, use Khan Academy, that sort of stuff will better you, and you'll start realizing how to take it into your own hands.
Yeah. And reach out to like everyone on this stream or on this, what's it called?
The Discord.
The Discord.
Yeah.
Everyone on the Discord because you guys learn better from each other anyway. And I think if you reach out, it'll be great. And Blue, I agree. I think we should have it in one joint place and then he can do all the work and I can just help.
Okay. I will do that. I'll just put hers. We'll have a set time when she's going to upload so that you guys know, and they'll be mostly like tutorials on how to do specific art skills.
Yeah, I guess.
Right?
I haven't figured it out yet. I'm waiting for the district, so I'm not just sitting back. I am trying, but
yeah.
Sammy asked a really great question.
What's the line between keeping yourself busy and overworking? I've been seeing a lot of combos on how capitalism makes us value ourselves only on how productive we are without letting ourselves breathe. I think that here's the biggest thing. Keeping yourself busy and overworking, the main difference that I see in that is keeping yourself busy is you deciding what you're going to spend your time doing. One of the best phrases I heard is that that burnout isn't a function of busyness. I could be doing a lot of stuff all day, every day, but if it's stuff that builds me up and makes me happy, then I will happily do it, right?
Right.
And I'm more easily capable of saying, I need to rest today. Maybe I'm feeling sick. Maybe I'm feeling tired. Whereas overworking is when somebody says, you don't have the space, or you're not allowed to choose how to direct yourself. So instead, I'm going to dictate to you what you should be doing, right? If you look at like multiple different projects that you take on for yourself, I want to do a podcast, I want to do a zine, I want to make a YouTube channel, and I'm going to do all of that stuff. If when you sit down to do that stuff, you're like, yes, this is what makes me excited to wake up in the morning, then that's a fuel in itself. Whereas if you wake up and you have somebody calling you being like, hey, Sammy, if you don't get me that thing by tomorrow morning, then, you know, the capitalist structure will punish you and you will no longer have a job, then that ends up being a bigger problem, because then it's about you having self-worth wrapped up into what you're doing, rather than you finding worth in what you're doing and extracting it out, right? Yeah. So like what you do should be giving you energy. You should not be putting energy into something without an investment coming back into you, to put it in capitalist terms.
I mean, to make this for elementary school kids, I mean, you guys heard of the bucket, right? You fill up your bucket, and if it takes too much away from it, then you're empty. I like seeing you guys, and so that not being there was really, really tricky. And then I got an email from a student right away telling me how scared they were and telling me how upset they were, and I think I jumped back into teacher mode immediately and realized that that is more important than me being scared, is understanding that I still have a job and I still have a passion for my job. But sometimes it's hard to forget that, right? Like, it's easy to forget that. Yeah, just keep filling up your bucket.
The next question I see is, how do we deal with loneliness over this period of time? While we're thinking about it, I want to answer Cindy's quick question, which is, your final is not due right now. Anybody who's telling you that stuff is due, I do not know that that is true. We have not heard from the district. I am not supposed to be accepting assignments from you guys.
We've actually heard the opposite. We are not supposed to be giving you assignments and or grading you. I mean, I think we can grade on stuff that has been turned in the past, but no other stuff. So teachers might be misinformed or might just want to keep educating you and keep teaching, and so they might be giving you stuff, but they're not supposed to be grading, so don't stress out about that.
There we go. The next question, how do we deal with loneliness over this period of time? You were saying...
This is one way.
This is a way. I think that the biggest downfall that we see in online education is that there's no way for people to connect in person, and so there's no stakes. When we look at this, for instance, I look at some of the behaviors of some of the students that I know and what they do online and what they're doing even in this chat, Ethan, is not necessarily how they would behave if they were right in front of my face. I mean, Ethan, an exception here. So, love you, Ethan. But you have greater stakes when you're looking somebody in the face and you're getting direct feedback from them. So the perk here is that many of you guys I know, and Miss Ely knows you. We've seen you face to face, and so when you're looking at us, you're not getting the same sense of, like, I don't know, watching Rhett and Link or...
Who?
Yep. Watching internet people that you don't actually have a connection with, that would make you feel like, sorry, we're seeing comments going in. Thanks, Ethan. Make you feel like you're not actually being attached. However, calling people that you know, hearing their voice actually does something to your brain that makes you feel better. Yeah. FaceTiming them does something in your brain that makes you feel better. You can still connect with people in small groups, isolated from other people. Yeah. You just have to make sure that before you do that, you're washing your hands and you're not actually contagious, all of that sort of stuff. So if you're feeling at all sick, don't hang out with friends. Right now, Palm Springs actually said it should be fully shut down.
Yeah.
I forget what the phrase was. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it was basically like, do not go outside. FaceTime is definitely carrying a lot of the weight of fixing this loneliness, right? But I think that it also requires... Kat, what are you eating?
Oh, it's a little twizzle stick.
That's okay. Eat that twizzle stick. It also requires that you are being sincere online. So that you're using that time to be honest and to share with other people your true self, not just this outward appearance. That's kind of what I touched on in the video today. If you're just sharing memes online, it's not going to cure loneliness. If you are just sharing a fake version of yourself like many people do on Instagram that's super edited, I'm having the best time. then it's not going to cure loneliness. But when you sit down and you say, hey, I need help with this. I don't know math. I would like to talk about math with you guys. Doesn't know I'm sockless right now? I don't even know what that means.
And guys, not to say that you can't keep sharing memes, right? Like, that's okay. Like, you know,
Right.
you can still have the fun times that you guys like to have. It's just also remember that people are looking for genuine connection right now. And Blue, if you take my class next year, you should take art too. I can recommend you, so then we can get deeper into it, because you're already you're an artist, so I want to give you some more chances to be successful.
I'm going to touch on Alora's question. What are your hopes from us having all this time off? Also, what is the biggest fear of us not having school every day? My biggest hope is that you discover that you have more ability inside yourself than you realize.
Yeah.
I've always wanted that from my class. That's why a lot of what we do in my class, I've said, we're not going to grade the normal way. We're not going to try and restrict you guys as much. I want to give you an opportunity to be yourselves and to learn the language that you speak. So my biggest hope is that you do that you now, grades out the window, homework out the window, the whole system got thrown out for you. So when we talk about this idea of fascism and how fascism dictates parts of your life without you necessarily realizing it, I'm hoping you realize now what it looks like to not have that. You have an incredible amount of freedom. That's great. My biggest fear, though, is that without knowing how to deal with that freedom, you'll fall into harmful habits, right? Harmful habits that are informed by systems that want to turn you into a product to be bought and sold, right? Like, you're just going to be given more and more stuff that makes you scared. They're going to give you more and more stuff that makes you want to buy things to solve the problems. You're not going to have as much connection to actual people, and actual people aren't trying to sell you stuff. So you'll have these interactions that everything behind the interaction is a sponsorship. And that's scary to me, because it's a chance where you have the freedom to do whatever you want, but other people have the freedom to take advantage of you more. I'm also deeply afraid for many students where their home life is not an escape from school. Yeah. To be completely serious. I mean, that's very troubling for me to think about. I fight back that feeling a lot. So
right, for me, school, I didn't like school. But for a lot of you guys, it is fun. You like to challenge yourself academically. You like to have friends. You like to get out of the house and do something. And so, I'm worried about those kids. Which one are you reading? How
would we be able to shave Mr. Jackson's beard over this time? I'm not even cutting my hair. Like, I'm getting what I call the Jew curls going on here. And they're just gonna go. I think I'm gonna try to go full man bun at some point. We're no longer answering Alora's questions. I'm gonna delete that. But I'm not gonna shave. There's pictures. Go onto the Discord.
Oh yeah, pictures. The one someone asked about retaking the year. I don't believe you'll have to retake the year. I don't want you guys to stress about that. I think we're gonna end up getting a waiver for the school year. So I think there'll be some. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's for people who are maybe failing. We'll, still have to retake it. It's not like this semester is going to be wiped out. But she's going crazy. She's like chasing something behind us. She's pretty funny. She's definitely in
look at the camera.
Predator mode.
Make cat eyes at the camera. Don't bite me. Don't bite me. She bit me.
Mr. Hackenett.
I don't even know what to tell. This whole pandemic, if this whole pandemic gets a lot worse and carries on deep into the summer, what do you think will happen to this school year? Also, Smash World Tour is probably dead. Well, Tommy has my copy of Smash, so I can't fix any of the Smash World Tour problem. I'm kidding. I might end up buying another copy of Smash. And if it does get worse, let's assume that it does get worse, right? Let's assume that worst case scenario, you're stuck inside well into the summer, or more stuff gets closed down. There are things that are suggesting that that's going to be the case. I'm not abusing Yoko, I swear, Miranda. The internal space that you have is even more important if this gets a lot worse.
Right. I think it takes 2 weeks, 21 days to form a new habit. Mm-hmm. So you have a lot of 21 days before summer happens. I mean, you have multiple 21-day periods that you can form lots of good habits. And so by the time the summer comes, you'll be a champ and you'll be ready for it.
Yeah.
Right. I am a little concerned about the weather, right? We can't have a school year during the weather or during the summer because the weather is so intense.
Right.
So we are in a really unique position in the desert that other people maybe are not. I think my sister who teaches in Seattle, they're just going to do summer school as if it's normal school. What was your question?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, got it. Okay. And I don't know if I can put you in art too because you're in photo. Yeah, Tommy chill.
Gotcha. Bully Tommy.
Boo Tommy.
That's an inside joke. We don't
I'm not just
bully
mean
on this channel.
But yeah, so other school districts are able to do summer school, but we're not quite able to do that because it's 120 degrees, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, online's a real option. We're going to work really hard at making online viable.
Right. I think that's the biggest thing is when you ask the question of what happens when this gets worse, is you answer that question with something you do, right? Because I think it's a lot. It's very easy for us to say, if this gets a lot worse, I really hope blank fixes the problem. If this gets a lot worse, I mean, even from our end, thinking like, if it starts getting worse, I really hope the district sends us an email that solves that, right?
Yeah.
Or that addresses some of those issues. Our hands are tied to some extent until we get that information from the district. Yeah. So the inverse of that, I want to take it into my own hands. If this gets a lot worse, what am I going to do to make sure that I'm okay, my family's okay, to make sure that I'm growing as much as I possibly can? Because you don't want to rely on somebody else to come and fix the problem. I mean, this is the problem with how we're telling superhero stories nowadays, right? This idea of there's somebody greater or more powerful that can come and cure all of these ills. That power has to come from inside of yourself. So, Anthony, I'm assuming it's Anthony because Ant. They're going to censor me. This isn't TikTok. I don't get censored. Anthony, if you want to do Smash World Tour, if you want to do something like that, you now have the power. You now have the time. Like, let's make that happen. So don't wait for those things to fix themselves. You actually have way more knowledge about it than you realize. Mm-hmm. You have way more skill in it because you've been doing this for years. So definitely make it happen. Tell me what you need from me. Seek out other people who are like, I want to do something about this. We will get the equipment. We will get the software that we need to make that happen. So that's my big thing. Let's talk about postmodernism. So Tommy says, what's a postmodern solution to this? Add to the broadcast. Boom. Mr. Jackson, how can I take a postmodernism outlook on this? It's really hard to find meaning right now, and I'm usually relatively good at that.
I just wanted them to see this little face.
She's too big.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I can put it down there.
Yeah.
Who's your puppy?
George, my babies.
Who's your puppy?
Her face is getting better, but she's still on medication. But there she is.
That's a good maple.
There's a girl.
That's a good maple. I love that dog.
You're such a good girl.
She is the best.
So meaning.
Sammy's here.
Find meaning in this, right? Like this face.
Right. Oh, so when we talk about this issue of postmodernism and a postmodernist outlook, here's what I actually think. I think what you're talking about is existentialism. What you're saying is, I'm having trouble finding meaning in all of this. And the best way to think about it is that's the start of the question. Look at the world. Look at everything that we know. It might all be a lie. It might all be worthless. Now what do we do about it, right? If it's all worthless, if the worst case scenario is true, what do we do to bring meaning out of that situation? So with the assumption that there are no consequences, right? You think of The Good Place and you think of Chidi making the chili with the peeps. I put the peeps in the chili pot, mix it all up. This idea of everything is completely meaningless is the beginning of the exploration of meaning. It's not the end. It's not the, oh, so this whole equation equals 0. Instead, it is let's actually start to dive into what does it mean to live a life of meaning in a meaningless universe where everything is insignificant. With that, I would say to start with, what can I affect? If my whole universe, the big grand scheme of it, I'm nothing, I'm this little dot, then that little dot matters in its own personal space, in the same way that a single white blood cell in my body matters as long as it's doing its job, right? So every single cell in my body has a job that it's doing, and I'm not asking it to figure out the meaning of life. I'm asking it to do what it can within the confines that it exists, right? So I don't know if I can figure out the meaning of the universe. What if humanity can't? And that's the limit of all human knowledge. Then I guess what matters most is how I'm treating others and the people who are close to me, right? I would say figuring out how to deal with this in a postmodern outlook, or even postmodernism, sentimentalism, whatever you want to call it, this period where we find our meaning in our interactions with other human beings, I would suggest ensuring that what you do moving forward is doing the best for the people who are around you. I think the best way to think about that is what you're doing a gift that you give to somebody else, or is it something that you're selfishly creating in order to cure your own problems? Can I give this thing to the world? Hopefully that answers that weird question.
That's a hard question to answer.
I gotta go through all of these. Don't abuse Yoko, Santa Jackson. You didn't answer my question. I did now, Tommy. So Valentine's Day is coming up. That already happened next year. My Jack stopped talk. Oh, yeah, we talked about that being censored.
That is something.
Unemployment?
Yeah, I mean, I graduated high school and you were in college during the 2008 depression, whatever. What are you? And it was tricky. Vote.
Yeah, I think that the biggest problem with unemployment is the idea that we thought that employment was fixing the problem.
Right, that's true.
We're getting a bit into politics, but
which we shouldn't.
When we say, oh, look at the unemployment rate is super low, so everybody has jobs. Well, the meme that I saw in response to that is, I have 3 of them and I still can't pay my rent. So people will be affected. It will affect those people negatively. People will lose jobs. The issue that we have is that the system that was in place already was a broken system that wasn't benefiting people. To get really into it, back in the 1980s, there were these things called stock buybacks that were legalized where they used to be illegal. Many of those stock buybacks make it look like the value of our economy is growing, when in reality, it's only being fed to a very specific group of people. So think about the video that we watched about...
She's just biting. I'm not even doing anything. Please don't bite.
She is! Now you guys know it's not just me.
Well, she got mad at Maple, and then...
Yeah.
Sorry.
One of the things that happened when we look at airlines did a lot of stock buybacks, which means people who were invested in that stock made money, but and it looked like their airline was doing well, but we've all known for a while now that airlines are cheating more and more, that it's not getting to be a better product. It's not serving people more. Instead, it feels like things are more cramped. It feels like things are getting a lot worse. And so when we look at that and we say, hey, all of the stats are looking fine, but for some reason the realized experience isn't, that would be like me saying, hey, look, everybody in this class is getting A's, but in reality, none of them know how to read or write.
Yeah.
That tells me that the teacher is giving people a good grade and not actually helping them learn. So in the same way, when we look at unemployment rate going up, people will suffer. It is very terrible. The problem was already there. The problem was there before coronavirus came and blew it all up. And so when we talk about a bubble bursting, I think it's important that we realize that that's the case. Make them watch Savannah Brown. Make them watch Prince EA. Yeah, look up spoken word poets. I'll post a bunch. We should get that going on the Discord. They need to have a short reboot of the simulation. We need the server to rest for a bit. I could talk about this all being a simulation, and now it feels even more like it's all a simulation.
Yeah, it still feels like a dream.
Run fast enough until you outpace the processing power of the computers. If it's this computer, then you don't even have to run that fast.
Yeah,
you can
true.
jog. That's why when you stand up really fast, you see black. Ooh, okay. Katie's got a good one. Disable the algorithm as a kid. I don't know if I can figure out the meaning. Don't stab anybody. Legally, I have to say that was a joke. Yeah, don't stab anybody. Oh my gosh. I can't keep up with these. I need people to help. Okay, cool. Let's deal with Katie's question then. Katie's question was a good one. How can I find my space when I'm trapped in my house and my mother uses this as an excuse to make me do the stuff that she doesn't want to do? Absolutely big, important thing to deal with when your home life isn't better than school, or when your home life isn't necessarily a good place for growth. That is super rough because there's not a lot of places that you can go to, especially on a rainy day like this. You can't just walk around outside.
Right.
I pivot. Do you have suggestions?
The part about her making you do the stuff that she doesn't want to do is rough, right? Like, you are a family together and we should all be helping out our family, but you're not an employee, you're not a worker, you're her daughter, and I think sometimes that's hard to remember. Sorry, our dogs are barking. I think it's hard to remember sometimes, especially when people are scared. And she might just be scared, and we all, I think, deal with stuff differently when we're scared. Some people maybe lash out, some people internalize, and I think that's hard. I don't really know. Reach out more and more to the people online, right? Find more and more communities like this and reach out to them.
Right. And I say things like you can walk around outside. Blue just repeated that as well. The idea that you can walk around, you can move around will be helpful to get a moment's breath. But I understand that when it comes to family, it's not something that you can just like walk away and everything's better. Right. So when it comes to that, it's important to remember that in this moment, if the moment that you're feeling right now is really, really difficult, that your mind will go to, how do I stop this immediate thing from happening? How do I shut down? Like, I'm getting yelled at. I'm going crazy. She's also like driving me insane because she keeps talking about God and how the world is ending because God is mad. And so you have this moment of like, oh my gosh, I'm really starting to lose it. And you have to think, I can't fix this moment. This moment is going to be done in 5 minutes. And it's going to suck. It's a sucky moment. How do I fix tomorrow? Right? It's kind of a form of escapism, but it's a healthy form of escapism where you're saying, I need to go from this is being too much to how do I stop from tomorrow being too much? Because you can set up healthier routines that create space. Like, hey, I'm going to hang out at this friend's house and use these as excuses. Say, oh, well, Mr. Jackson's giving me these assignments and I have some stuff I have to work on, so I have to go to another student's house in order to get a little bit of space. And as long as you are limiting that to, 1 or 2, maybe up to 5 people, then you're not going to have a problem with social distancing. And ultimately, you making sure that you have a healthy life from now till indefinite future is more important. So we are like surrounded by a zoo of animals.
Yeah, we are.
Maple's getting all the colors right now.
Right here. What I was going to say is, have you talked to her? Have you told her that, even if you aren't scared, have you told her that you are? Like, say, hey, talking about this is overwhelming for me, and I know that it's maybe important for you to talk about. Can you find someone else to talk about it with so I don't have to think about this all the time because I'm scared? And that might help, right? Talking is important. Sometimes people get angry and need time to process, and she might not be happy at the first time, but she might start to let it settle and maybe make some changes. Also, make a schedule. Figure out what she wants you to do and be like, all right, I will do these things, but I'm doing them on these days, right? Like,
Yeah. Creating a system where you can communicate.
Like a chore wheel. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's not I have to sit there and hear a lecture about how the whole world is going to end for the next hour in order to find out that she really just wanted me to take out the trash.
Right.
Having a way of communicating where there is distance between you and people who might be toxic. That goes for people who are siblings. If you're living in a house with lots of family, that can go to extended family. So any of those people, and this is a good skill for when we're not social distancing as well, find solutions that are going to be systems in place for tomorrow. Okay, today might suck. I might have made some mistakes today, but tomorrow I'm going to hang out with this friend. And in hanging out with that friend, I'll have space.
Mm-hmm. We actually talked about this because 5 weeks or however many weeks being trapped with someone, right? Even though, can be hard. So, right, we talked about like a phrase or a word that we, when we've reached our limit of being around someone else, we can say it. But a rutabaga?
Rutabaga.
A rutabaga.
Right now?
No, we're busy.
Oh, okay. A rutabaga? Miss Ely found out that this whole thing was a meme.
I had no idea.
Because she saw people doing it in real life. Like, she didn't know it was a meme first. She saw people recreating the meme, and it was hilarious. Because she was like, this student came up to me and was, like, looking really weird, like, at her feet and like, doing this finger thing. And I was like, yeah, that's a meme. And then immediately, like, 2 seconds later, it had popped up on something. And I was like, hey, look, see? The internet. What if our parents ban us from doing literally anything? Literally anything?
I mean, you're here right now.
Right. So that's helpful. I think that's a bigger question, how to deal with controlling parents.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in a situation where you're very much trapped.
I think that's more your area of expertise. I mean, my mom was very...
They're great.
Relaxed. Oh, yeah, lovely people. But my mom was very relaxed, and I don't know.
Yeah. I think that when it comes to dealing with parental expectations, making it clear that you're going to need space and getting that space away is really tough now that we're socially isolating, right? So your parents don't let you do anything. You're stuck at home. You're not allowed to go hang out with friends. You got your phone taken away. You got your computer taken away. This is where considering how to better yourself in those moments becomes even more essential, right? I'm not saying it's a cure-all. I'm saying you're definitely in a crappy situation. Yeah. That is super rough. I feel that.
Right. And having someone in the house too, that's really important. So a walk around the block, though, is not going to get you exposed to anybody, right? Unless you stop and talk to a whole bunch of people, which you shouldn't do, right? But walking around the block, going to the park, maybe not touching the jungle gym, but like, and understanding that their health needs are maybe first, but your needs are also important.
And I would say this is maybe a bad phrase for them. This is good lies. Good lies would be blaming somebody like... No, it'd be like blaming somebody like me, Mr. Jackson. Your parents are going to be more likely to let you do something if it's an assignment for class, right? Especially if they feel like some other qualified adult is helping you in that. So saying like, hey, I have an honors English class, or I want to prepare for this honors English class, or for this important art class because they have IB art. I want to make sure that I'm really good at it. And they're telling me that I have this assignment. I need to go walk around outside and see some stuff. Or they challenged me to have the TV off for 24 hours, right? Hey, I'm not supposed to look at any news for 24 hours, and I'm supposed to write about it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Say like... You're okay.
That was one of the best pieces of advice that I got from a former boss was he was telling me frequently, you need to learn to say no. You need to learn to say no, Mr. Jackson. And then I was like, I just don't know how. Like, it makes me feel bad. And they're like, okay, then blame me. Let me be the reason you say no. Right? Like, say I can't right now. I'm working on something. My boss says I have to do it. Another piece of advice that I got was tell people that you're working on something important, and when they ask you what it is, you just say myself. Just working on myself right now. I got a big project.
Right. That all being said, we're not advocating lying to your parents. We're just saying we do support you. Maybe turning the news off for 24 hours or this, that, or the other thing. We could probably turn that into a legitimate assignment and definitely use us for that to get your own mental health needs right. But don't go around like sneaking out of the house and saying, oh, Mr. Jackson and Miss Ely said it was totally fine. Right. Be safe. But,
Yeah. Looking at Alora's comment, if you've got, usually very chill parents, but in this situation they've got extra requirements because of their work or they've got other stuff, Yeah, I blame Miss Ely all the time after school. Like, guys, or I say I have a meeting, which usually I do.
We do have a lot of meetings,
We
right?
have a lot of meetings after school, but like, yeah.
But sometimes sometimes we just need a moment, and we definitely have expressed that we can be each other's excuse.
Right.
But we always,
Miss Ely is much better at saying no than I am.
Yeah, I think I've practiced mental health a little bit better. I do. But that doesn't mean I want to say no to you guys all the time. I love you guys, but and about parents being strict now, it's scary. Right, we take care of a 5 and a 3-year-old, and right, I want to be protective.
Yikes. All right. So Jocelyn. Sorry, Jocelyn. I always say it wrong when I'm reading it. You have somebody that you could hang out with, but they are male, and so your parents are labeling them as a likely candidate for romantic interaction. Let's put it that way. There's some problems with that I see, because obviously not all...
It's very heteronormative.
Yeah. Not all relationships are male and female relationships. And also, I don't think that that's necessarily teaching us the skills that we need to interact with others.
Right.
Like when we say stuff like, oh, your boss, if your boss is a male, they shouldn't have meetings with you one-on-one. That is actually putting a bigger burden on a female in the workplace. And so I think that it teaches us some things that are a little bit off about the reality of it. You absolutely can have friends that are of the opposite sex, and I strongly encourage it, because you should have friends that are very different from you and have different experiences. Addressing all of that, how do you actually deal with the parental side of things and the sneaking around?
No sneaking.
I wouldn't.
Don't sneak.
I wouldn't sneak around. I feel like the conflict is worth it. To say like, hey, I'm not having a romantic relationship with this person. I feel like I should be trusted in this situation, and I really need to have a friend. I'm not doing anything inappropriate. And because I'm being honest with you in this moment, you can trust that I'm not going to be dishonest with you later.
And also, I know sometimes that if you give a little, they'll be more inclined. They'll think that they're winning, right? If you say, well, when I'm at this place, I'll have the Find My Phone, like locator app, whatever, on, so you can just double check that I'm there. Or I call every hour, or I text every hour. Like, there's lots of ways to, like, that's our big dog. Check every hour. Like, there's something that you could probably give up, if their parents are there or whatever, to make them feel like they're winning.
Yeah. And yeah. Alora, if your mom is a nurse, I'm figuring that that's what I'm seeing, then give her a big thank you for all of us, because that is intense work. My sister-in-law is a nurse, and luckily
okay.
she was working with infants, and so there hasn't been a lot of an influx for that, and so I'm very thankful. But yikes, it is a tough time. I've seen a lot of pictures of people that have been wearing the masks, and they've got like Band-Aids on their face, and they're just going through it.
I mean, nurses already before this did work that I could never do. And I was always very impressed. My mom's a cancer survivor, and so the nurses that were the ones that I really like, I still get coffee with one of the nurses that took care of my mom, because the doctors are so busy and doing other things. They're not really with the patients very often. And so it's the nurses. I mean, there's a lot of people, the technicians, and that you see more. And so you build those relationships, and they work so hard, as well as doctors, obviously. But I still am very, very close with one of the nurses that took care of my mama. Definitely could not do that job.
Sorry, I'm reading through all this stuff. My dad finally told me that the reason that he argues with me is because he doesn't want a kid to tell him he's wrong. That is so much my dad. That is so much my dad.
A lot of maybe people, our parents' generation, and I guess maybe your parents' generations too.
Well, and I think people who are considering themselves an authority in the first place, that it's like, oh, well, I'm over them. There's a hierarchy here. I'm the parent. This isn't a relationship, right? Like they're not supposed to be also teaching me. Then they're going to get into that mindset, and you have to figure out a way to get them to believe that it was their idea in the long run. I would say starting off by like laying out the facts and then not expecting an answer. So you're not like, hey, let me explain to you why it needs to change tomorrow, right? You're just saying like, hey, this is a fact. Mm-hmm. This is another fact. Let's talk about it tomorrow. And then by tomorrow, they might be like, I was really thinking about what you said here, here, and here. Or I love this one because my dad would do this all the time. He'd be like, I was reading an article.
Yeah. Yes.
Like that article was literally
what I said.
Just what I said.
Everything.
You didn't read an article.
I think I see this a lot with the, not necessarily older teachers in school, but teachers who have a more traditional mindset or more traditional approach are like, no, they need to, the students need to respect me first, and then I will respect them. And I think there's this like, that idea that you have to respect us before we respect you, and that's not how respect is built, in my opinion. So I think that's hard. A lot of people think that way, that the subordinate or the people underneath the people on top like have to show respect first. So
sorry, this stream of comments got a little bit confusing.
Yes.
So first of all, as far as like kids, my kiddos, I am sick. I was sick and I actually called out on Friday. I've been trying to get tested and I haven't been able to get tested, which is why both Miss Ely and I are more quarantined, and we're trying not to talk to people or hang out with people, doing a lot of hand washing and all that jazz. And so I won't be able to see the kiddos until the end of the week, and it's very heartbreaking. But thanks for that, Gold. Thanks. What other sore subjects you want to bring up? I'm kidding, Gold. You're awesome. Neon Genesis and what it teaches us about fundamentally selfish relationships that are platonic, where you actually are attracted to somebody. There's a lot to unpack here, Tommy.
Jesus said platonic relationships.
First of all, having an attraction to somebody is an entirely normal, healthy thing that doesn't have to turn into a desire for a romantic relationship. Yes. So I'm feeling like, yeah, that person's attractive. I like their personality. I like what they do. And not, I want to have a relationship with them. The issue that we have, especially at a high school level, is when we think attraction equals sexual desire.
Romantic desire?
Yeah. I said the sex word. Whoops. When we think that attraction turns into romantic desire, like, oh, I really like hanging out with them. I think that they're hot. I think that they've got a great personality. And so now I want to have a relationship with them. The best advice that I got was when I was in college from my psychology professor that was talking about basically the people who have the best relationships are the people who have dated more. Because you're able to say, I know what I'm looking for in a romantic relationship, and just because I've got hormones that are shooting off that are like, man, I like the way you look in that shirt. It's thanks in the face.
Sorry.
It's not. This cat's just drooping. It's not the same as. And now I want to have a committed relationship with you for a long period of time. Right. You could have all of those good feelings.
I want to show him the cat.
No. You could have all of those good feelings and still be like, and I don't think it's a good idea.
She's asleep.
Yeah.
She's
drooped in between these two chairs. Yuck. So, yeah. Now we're talking about the real stuff. Can you have a platonic relationship with somebody? It requires you deciding it's going to be a platonic relationship and not waiting for them to define the relationship. And so if you have a friend who is somebody that you're attracted to and you're feeling like, man, I really want to have a romantic relationship with them, DTR, define the relationship. Say to them, hey, I'm feeling this sense of like, I kind of want to see where this goes. If they say no, then no. Like, you're not friend zoned. You have a good relationship with somebody and they happen to be a friend. The idea of the friend zone is this belief that ultimately a certain level of connectedness results in
physical relationship.
Yeah,
which is not a thing.
And absolutely at a high school level, it's difficult to parse out these feelings because we're feeling them for the first time. So you got the hormones going off and you're like, I got a feeling and I like it. And it's you. And that's like the language that's in your head for it. And you don't know how to say, you know what? Just because I have that feeling.
This disgusts me.
While I'm seeing them doesn't mean that I have to.
We can stop. We'll change the topic, right? Why?
Go cry about my issues with my parents. Lolsies. My mom says I've been here 50 years more than you, and it makes me so mad because it's like, who's the one managing their money well? Who's the one? Crossover episode of Mr. Miller. If Mr. Miller wants to do anything, yes, I'll reach out to some other teachers, especially moving into next week. I wanted to get this stuff set up. But I would love to, Miss Garrett.
I'm like reading multiple things, but sometimes when you get rejected by someone, you guys can like maybe forget about taking a relationship in that way, that you can then focus on taking a relationship in a more... What's wrong?
Sorry, Laura. You're correct. I went to Popeyes when I was sick.
Oh, oh, they called you out. Drive through. You disrespect each other. I'm the opposite of that.
Yeah, no, and
okay, first of all, sorry. I think I've said in my class multiple times, right? Because people like to graffiti on my desk, and I say, if you guys have something to say to me, say it to me. But please understand that I'm an adult, and you're allowed to talk to me in the way that you choose to talk to me. But the people around you have not consented to hearing you talk a certain way or to act a certain way. So if you need to talk to me, to disrespect me, fine. But do not make everyone else in the room hear it and experience that. So I've definitely, if I for some reason haven't earned a certain student's respect, then I need to figure out with that student. It is not a class-wide thing. I definitely want to have a one-on-one. But no, you cannot disrespect students in my classroom.
Right. And that's one of the things that's on my list of three.
Right. Yeah.
Of 3 rules. It says we don't earn respect in this class. It's assumed. Yes. That's like a baseline. Yeah. You should respect another human being because they're a human being. And if you're not able to respect people, you've got some deeper issues with how you're treating yourself and your internal dialogues. So disrespecting another person is a matter of not seeing them as human, not seeing them as worthy of being treated with a normal level of kindness.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say cringe, but you're right. That is kind of cringe. Sorry.
What's kind of cringe?
Just what she said. They said that was kind of cringe. That's okay.
Please have Miss Alia play Minecraft. I don't want her to because she's better.
I've never played it before.
And yet she was still adding me in the chat yesterday, being like, "Oh my gosh, why don't you know how to do
He
this?"
was throwing seeds at something.
I want them to love me.
Yeah.
This is a problem. There's some psychology going on where I'm just like, I want all the fuzzy animals to love me. Talking about that, we adopt lots of animals, but humans is not. We're not looking for any teenagers.
Well, we have, 400 between the two of us?
If you would like to sign up for our indentured servitude, we have some paperwork that you can fill out, and you can be an intern. All right? No, I'm kidding.
I mean, I'm painting the house. I definitely could need help with that.
It's so terrible. Because a lot of these people, their parents probably see them that way. Imagine. No?
I think we got into a little trouble with this conversation.
Right? A lot of people wear that Sonic shirt. Man. Okay, that was my fault for getting into that whole conversation.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. But, I mean, if you guys cannot hear it and talk about it, then maybe it's not something that you guys are ready for.
Hey, thanks Gold, for encouraging our honesty and openness. Where's the peanut butter? What a great question.
I don't know where I put mine. Oh, it's over there. And again, our goal is to not make...
Hey, Sophia.
Anybody uncomfortable, right? We want to be open about this, and it should just be something... Is that Ethan?
Which one? Edupe? Yeah. I will kill you. Hey, Ryan. I got the thing to transfer the tiny VHS tape to digital. Sweet.
Yay.
It's a DV tape, mini DV tape, by the way. I love the fact that they're just like...
Is that gold?
I did call you out. Which one?
The one that spelled my name wrong.
What? Jackman and Yuli?
Okay.
No, this is Ureli.
Okay.
We're not supposed to call her out.
I know.
Streamed to Stardew Valley. I told Miss Ely that if she streamed Stardew Valley, she would not have a normal life ever again.
What do you mean?
Doom Eternal. And I actually just heard some early reviews, and people are saying Doom Eternal is better than Animal Crossing because it takes too long to get started. Cat hair.
No.
Cat hair and my peanut butter. This is what we call quality content.
So, how do you play? So Minecraft, you you mine things and then you build stuff, but what is the ultimate goal of the game? Because I know there's creepers and I know there are spiders and different things that you fight, but like, what is the ultimate goal? If I understand the ultimate goal, I think I could do it. I just don't understand it. I've never played or watched anybody play.
Stardew Valley is amazing. Animal Crossing is amazing. We're going to have that content. I already pre-ordered Animal Crossing. So we will be talking about Animal Farm capitalism and Animal Crossing.
Mike's off. Oh.
No, they're joking with you.
Okay. I also really wanted to do...
Are they joking with you? No, I mean, it says it's on.
Aww.
What?
With me, I want to do a mural on my back. I have a brick wall on the back, and I wanted to do like a mural or something. It'd be really fun. Maybe
Miss Ely really wants to paint the house.
Well, I've already painted the flower boxes in the front.
Now everyone's saying the mic is off.
Is it really? Can you guys hear us?
Audio broke. Still broke?
Oh, wait. Okay, the cats.
Ah.
Is that the whole point of Minecraft? Is that you're supposed to farm? You're supposed to just...
Fix the audio, they say.
Can you have bots for Minecraft?
Fix the audio, they say. Did this...
So they can't hear me, so I'm just asking questions.
Is it better? Beat the Ender Dragon, but there's a lot of creative liberty, says Gold.
Okay. So I have a problem because I like... You probably can't hear me. So...
Oh, we lost a cat too. Looks like this is the end of the stream, guys. Yeah, I didn't have any issues with it, LOL.
I will play Minecraft tonight if you guys want to, but I don't know why you'd want to watch.
Ethan's spamming us.
I don't know. So I like to 100% games though, and if I can't 100% it, then I don't know if I'm doing well.
All right, audio good. Press 1.
They say we can hear.
Okay.
They also say cringe. Miss Yes Ely. Okay, I can Minecraft. Yeah, I'll try.
Miss Ely will Minecraft. I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone can hear the audio.
I wanted to have guests on and like have them like do speedruns or play games, but then ask them questions at the same time, like trivia questions or math questions. So they have to figure out the question while also trying to not get killed by a creeper.
Yes.
Right, because certain video games like Mario has become very easy for me, and if I then have to do algebra while trying to, I think that would be the way to...
That's actually her original idea for content. I still want to do lowest common denominator, but it's a lot more difficult now because now it's lowest common denominator delivery.
Ethan!
The end game is Beat the Ender Dragon. We talked about that. It's the postmodern mindset. I don't know how I feel about... I'll go into Sammy's question. That cat's so mad at us right now.
But she came to lay on my lap.
Predatory capitalist or the only good landlord? I don't know how I feel.
You create your own meaning in Minecraft. Oh, that's too much.
This land is your land. This land is our land.
I've seen people like build... I can just build things? I like to build things. I know you guys made fun of this craft table yesterday.
I made two.
If I get a craft table, will you make fun of me? You guys just make fun of me. That's fine.
I know what creepers are.
Big YouTubers.
I thought that was an underwater villager. That's not fair.
You wanted to be their friend so bad.
I want to be everybody's friend. And apparently throwing seed at people isn't how you do that.
Well, you can't on me because I like to garden.
I throw seeds at her and she's just like, yay, this is great. I love this. Throw more seeds. Yeah, I should do lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
But it's difficult. I'd have to get pizza delivered and make a whole bunch of content.
I was going to say, why is that so bad? But what do you mean?
Why is pizza delivery bad? It's not. Tom Nook is the best landlord. Just because it's a good landlord doesn't mean that landlords are good.
Dogs are awesome, but so are cats. And, every animal, but yes.
Play my guitar. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California.
You can just, like,
to the
roll
New
me out of the
York
way.
Islands. What am I stuck on?
I don't know, just roll me out of the way.
I can't.
Push.
What are we singing? Siggy Burns dropping them big knowledges. What are some tips to cope with the fact that we are still trying to find a way to cope with God being killed in the 19th century? Anyone want to do a Discord movie tonight? Hey, there's an add-on to Google Chrome called Netflix Party that allows us all to chat while we're watching a movie, or we can just get onto Discord and chat there while we all watch the same movie, but then it won't be all synced up. So if we want to pick a movie and do Netflix...
Oh, they want ukulele.
Ukulele Chungus? The ukulele's not tuned.
I don't think they care. It's a Chungus song.
No. I don't know how to play F
How do you
on
feel?
ukulele.
I was actually a little torn between West Side Story being the way it was cast. It was a little tricky, right? I mean, the whole point, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's really sad because we're in a high school.
Right.
We don't have the most choices, and we got to make do with what we have. What I really want to do, though, is get you guys back together so we can live stream West Side Story.
Yeah.
Maybe I can just get individuals to videotape themselves performing their parts, and we can edit it all together as like webcam West Side Story.
Oh my gosh, do you remember that video on YouTube that was someone?
It's a big chunk.
No, it was a shot-for-shot remake of.
Big chunk.
Listen, shot-for-shot remake of.
Hitler probably
Shrek.
saw it. It's a big chungus, y'all. I did it. Now can we stop with the big chungus? Someone can screen share over Discord and we can all chat. Okay, cool. Tommy, you know how to do it. I would love to do that for Film Club too. Watch a movie together.
What movie? Pardon me.
Oh, just like rated R movies. Just like really intense rated R movies, like 7. What's in the box?
No.
I've started to devolve. I've had my 2. Webcam West Side Story is life. 7th period, gang.
What's her favorite movie?
There is no Pickle Rick song. Tom Nook is a criminal, and I will personally guillotine him. That's what I'm saying. I'm not like encouraging the guillotine because you know that's one of those things that I still have issue with.
Sammy, do you play Minecraft?
Tom Nook is...
No, I'm talking about Sammy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay. Animal Crossing.
Oh, okay. Well, because if Sammy plays with me, I'll feel safer. Black Mirror.
Ooh, I would love to talk to you guys about the implications of Be Right Back, the episode from Black Mirror of the guy who dies and gets brought back as a robot. That episode is heartbreaking and so good.
Or we could just watch Doctor Who. Just all of it.
Just all of
From
Doctor
the
Who.
first Doctor all the way. That was down the line of the Doctors.
Oh. Error making local recording. The operation could not be completed. I broke my computer. That's fine, as long as it's still good for you guys. Hey, Keiko! Not that we don't want to deal with the rehearsal. Nobody wants people yelling at them.
I didn't read that.
We need Doctor Who binge.
Yes, we do. I think we should all bring in our favorite Doctor Who episode. One of mine, if you didn't guess, is
the good one.
The good one, the Van Gogh.
You like my charades?
Oh,
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh's a really, really good one. I mean, anything with make a song about 7th grade.
What's 7th period?
Yeah. Wait, do you mean 9th Doctor? The 9th Doctor? Is that what you mean? Yes. Love him. Ooh, I like the idea of recommending a book. I think what we're going to do about the reading is I know Mr. Jackson read a chapter out of a book, and then I was going to read the next one, and then we were going to try to find other teachers or educators to continue.
Period after 6th and before 8th. It's a period. The number of completion is what it is. It's a period. It's period 7. 7th period gang. Everybody's happy. That's why the song I did sing. Oh, it's a 7th period. 7th period. The 7th period gang. There. All right. You got it. What is 7th period? Let's read Room together. That's sad. I can't handle sadness right now. No. I need only happiness ever. We're reading The Little Prince on Tuesdays. I've got a bunch of other books. I've got Animal Farm that we're going to be going over on Friday once Animal Crossing comes out.
I was very uncomfortable. Yes. Yeah. Poor Missy Lee. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. She's horrified.
Because once this stops, he's going to just keep singing. Like, you won't have to watch it, but I will be here. I'm quarantined.
It's just 24/7.
Oh, Rutabaga.
It's 24/7 of me playing... oh my gosh, I can't even remember the name of the song.
I don't know, baby.
Hey There Delilah. It's just me serenading her with Hey There Delilah.
Oh, you guys were...
Hey there Delilah, what's it like in New York City?
No.
I'm 1,000 miles away, but this song is still so...
All right. All right, so I guess I will play Minecraft.
Yeah,
at 8:30?
8:30 tonight. She's playing Minecraft. I will be dropping the knowledge bombs.
That's good, because I won't be able to focus.
Kylie wants a song for 3rd period. But 7th period doesn't exist. 7th period, I think it's this. This is 7th period. Blink. Aww. There is no Pickle Rick song. I said Pickle Rick once and I got turned into like 10 different memes. I was like, Pickle Rick!
Yeah, Sammy, sure. What are the lyrics? You write them.
Everyone wants songs. Okay, tomorrow during this stream, boobity boobity boo, during this stream we'll do some music stuff. All right, how's that sound? I'll show you guys how I've set my stuff up. The guillotines are good actually, but only for Tom Nook.
Would you like Mr. Jackson to do a? Oh, he's not going to give me advice because he doesn't know how to play.
No. I was not suggesting giving her advice on Minecraft.
No, giving you guys life advice.
Yeah, or like. I don't know, just talking about things.
I've literally never played, so I'm going to die a lot. How many times did Mr. Jackson die?
5, 6.
Okay, so I just don't have to die 5, 6 times?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
And I did some risky behaviors, because I was feeling a little bit like I wanted to indulge in some risky behaviors. He just messed up on the lyrics for Hey There Delilah. That was the joke, Alora.
So if you guys want him to do a tutorial or a demo, like a song on the ukulele or the guitar, you guys have your own ukuleles or guitar or want to follow along?
I'm going to keep on referring to this as Mr. Jackson's Peanut Butter Hour because it reminds me of my favorite time in my 5th period of giving out peanut butter to everybody. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, we'll do different club stuff on Thursdays, and on Tuesdays we'll do film club stuff where I'll talk a little bit more about my stream. If you didn't notice today's... Oh, Mr. Jackson hit my dog? Oh, I did. It was very accidental.
What happened?
It was in Minecraft.
Oh.
I tried to give it seeds.
That's still not nice.
And then it killed me.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm going to say, we love animals in this house. The cat's asleep on my lap. So, I don't know. She loves me. She hates me. I've only bit that
cat like twice. And it's always in response to her biting me first.
It's not awkward. You're awkward. Boo, Tommy. Okay.
In the stream, it's awkward now.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Yeah, sure. And that's our sign out.
Yeah, whatever. I thought it was quack.
That's true, Jocelyn. You did ask for peanut butter first. You instigated it. And then it all went downhill from there. Now everybody wants peanut butter. I don't know the 7th period.
I don't get the 7th period. Is there a joke? Are we the joke?
Oh, we are the joke.
Oh.
Now everything is cringe. Now they're like, stream go bad. I love to lather myself in peanut butter in my leisure time. Cool.
Oh, Sammy.
That is high expectations.
Yeah.
Don't bite any animals. I don't actually bite the cat. I should explain. Do you guys have any other actual important questions before I just show everybody my pitters?
I'm gonna fail. Mr. Jackson.
Sorry, I'm damp. No, I want to go to college.
I'll try.
Good effort. Good effort.
I want it.
Is from Shadow, so thank you, sir and ma'am. The joke is to make a song for 7th period, because 7th period is, they have that in Shadow. And at Indio.
They have 8 periods at Indio, yeah.
Yeah. You should all go to college? That's a whole other question. Does anybody have any actual questions before we end this stream? Because we'll get back on
Ethan, I'm failing
8:30.
you. Yeah.
What does POG mean? Fat with a PH, butt with an A, white girl. Yes, you get extra credit for worm emote. I think everybody do be damned. Oh, in my pits. Yeah. Everyone will get a little bit of extra credit. I'll call it surviving coronavirus extra credit. I'll just put in an assignment where you all get an A on it.
Indio does 4 block periods one day, and then 4 block periods the other day. So 4, 4, 4, 4, and they like rotate. It's kind of intense, but it's lovely. The block periods are only an hour and a half, and you can have so many more electives. So as an elective teacher, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Ely will do a tutorial. She just picked up some more
I did.
stuff.
We got stuff from my classroom today. I think we're going to follow along with a Bob Ross tutorial just because I want you to know how tricky Bob Ross tutorials are. And everyone's like, oh, it's super easy. I will do embroidery. I don't know what that thing about the cat is, but yeah, okay.
I think they want us to eat the cat.
All right, Ethan, just for you.
Teach him how to draw furries?
Just for Ethan, and I'm going to make
I feel like the internet has enough explanations of
I'm
how
going to make
draw
everyone
furries.
know that it was Ethan who was asking for it. And then when we go back to school, I'm going to make sure I share your furry drawings with everybody.
First of all, there are 2 Millers. And second of all,
which one?
Miss Garrett and I went to the same high school. So
Not at the same time?
Not at the same time,
Okay.
no. So we went to the same high school through technicality. So she gets my vote, but I also very much like Mr. Miller.
I went to the same high school as a couple different people at our school. Mr. Talbot.
What is
Senor
your
Talbot.
go-to burger in the Wendy's for fur? Wendy's is one of the largest donors to the Trump campaign.
I could do the Mickey Mouse ear, Sammy.
Oh my God. Wait. Do the Bob Ross tutorial that Jenna Marbles tried.
Jenna Marbles also turned her hair into a giant...
Neko Jackson.
A giant, what is it called? Bubble wand? And I thought I could do Mickey Mouse bubble wand, so double. So a wand and a wand, and have, animal. Wait, what animal?
What is Miss Ely's persona? She is
What's a
red
persona?
panda.
I don't want to know what a
She's
persona
a red
is.
panda.
Am I?
You act like a red panda.
I do not. I'm
Do the
tougher
red
than
panda
a...
hands.
What's a red panda hands?
You do the red panda hands.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She knows what's up. You're like this.
I do not.
I'm a golden retriever. That's my energy.
Is it Basset Hound?
A basset hound? Well, I'm too big to be a basset hound.
Yeah.
Maple and I are spirit animals. She is my... What is that called in his Dark Materials? A daemon? Yeah. She's my daemon.
Oh, okay.
Oi. Yes. Okay, all of these are just weird furry things.
Yeah.
Just keep in mind, it wasn't Tommy that killed this. It was furries. Furries killed this stream. With that being said, we're going to go and clean up and make sure that everything's ready for tonight at 8:30. Make sure to watch the video for earlier today.
A ferret.
Ferrets
are feisty.
I'm going to get a tube
ferret.
sock and see if she's a ferret.
Can I be, so I really like, kangaroo rats are my favorite animal, so I'll be a kangaroo rat. Or a sugar glider. That's them flying.
Oh, she is definitely a sugar glider. Yeah, because they die when they're lonely.
Yeah.
Jackson's a squirrel. It's my teeth, isn't it? It's my teeth.
So the thing...
I'm not going to search up vor. I
Okay.
know how to not search things.
Okay.
8:30.
Okay.
All right. We will see you guys later. This has been great. And tune in at 8:30 for some you playing Minecraft
Sorry, Sammy.
and me getting time to not play Minecraft. I do not hate anybody. But with that being said, 10 out of 10, you guys are all awesome. I miss you all. I should play Roblox. I'll try and figure out how to play Roblox. I can play it on the computer though, right? So, it's a hairless mole rat. Y'all are mean. All right. With that being said, here's our sign
they
out.
die when they're lonely.
stomp your feet, clap your lap, everybody yell quack. Quack! I can't believe I got you to do it. And